Very rarely will I ever purchase a knife that is strictly built for one purpose. Usually I buy a knife that has multiple functions, but when I was at a gun show out here, I found this Zeil 2 or Zeil Magnum designed by John Bailey, and I fell in love with it. As some of you know, I'm an avid knife thrower, weapon thrower. I've been throwing weapons since I was about 5. And very rarely do I come across a throwing knife that's this well made. Most of the time you find these pieces of junk that are way too thin, too light, and don't pack enough punch to make it stick deep into the target. This knife is the exception. There's a few other knives out there that are pretty badass in that aspect, but I gotta say, this Zeil 2 is devastating when it hits the target. It's one solid piece of steel. I'm not sure what type of steel they use. It looks like it's about 1/4 inch thick. This thing is hefty. Now I say it's only for one type of use because I would put this in the category of competition or hobby throwing. I would not put this in the category of a tactical throwing knife or a fighting knife, mainly because it has no edges. You will not cut yourself anywhere on this knife, maybe on the tip, but even up here where the grinds are, there's no edge. It's flat, which is excellent if you're just using it for recreation throwing, which is what it's designed for. It has a good weight. I think it makes an excellent throwing knife by the blade or by the handle. Either way, it's excellently balanced. Just right in front of where the guard would be if it had one. It has a nice broad blade. It's got an excellent weight, excellent balance. It's got a beautiful finish on it. It's not quite mirror, but I don't really like most of my knives mirror finish anyway. The sheath is excellent. For being a leather sheath, it has good retention. Comes with a retention snap, then it's not going to fall out. The belt loop is kind of loose, but again, this is not a tactical knife. I wouldn't fight with it. You could, don't get me wrong, you totally could. It also has the option of a leg lace attachment, so you can strap this on, so of course I took the advantage of that. Now this, I would say, is a recreational thrower or a competition thrower. If you're looking for something more along the lines of a tactical throwing knife, cold steel true flight thrower, highly modified by yours truly. I put a serration on it. I made the edge reprofiled. I put a different handle on it. I had to re-drill a second hole through the blade though. That was fun. This is more something I would use as a tactical thrower, mainly because it has a fighting edge if I need to. This thing's a little lighter. I can carry it on my person, put it on my web gear, throw it on my vest, wherever I want to carry it. And if somebody's going to try to close that distance of 30 to 20 feet, I'm confident that I could throw this and that person's going down. I don't care what anybody says in the comments, throwing a knife is an adequate use of a defensive move. If someone's trying to close that distance, I don't care how fast you think you are, you're not going to dodge something that's black that you can't see, that's going to be flying at you at 50 to 60 miles an hour. You're not going to see it, you're not going to move, you're going to get hit. Made the sheath myself. Overall, I'll review this knife later. Back to the Zeil 2, or Zeil Magnum for some of you knife nuts. This is an excellent knife. For the price, it's about 30 bucks by itself. I've seen on certain websites like Amazon, you can get a set of 3 for about 50-something bucks. Overall length of this knife, it's about 13 inches. The blade length, 7-inch blade. Excellent knife, high value knife. Pick one up if you want to start throwing knives. Excellent beginner thrower if you're just starting. Excellent even if you've been throwing for a long time like I have. This knife, as soon as I picked it up and threw it, oh my god, I fell in love with it immediately. I would have liked for there to be some notching in the handles so I could do a paracord grip if I want. I understand for handle throwers you don't want any grip on the handle, you want it to just sail out and slide. But I would have liked to have the option. But again, it is strictly a throwing knife for recreational purposes. Yes, you could use this in a tactical situation, but that's entirely up to you. If you want to lash this heavy SOB onto your gear and carry this around just for the use of throwing at somebody, it seems like a stretch. But if you're willing to pack the pound, pack it, carry it, use it, love it, buy it. This thing's so awesome. I believe it's by Boker? I'm not entirely sure. Look it up. It's designed by John Bailey, the Zeil 2.
Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down.